Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny is a 2023 American action film directed by James Mangold. That's about it, really. That's all anyone knows about this film.
Excellent.
We saw this in the theater. We went together.
We did. And it's pretty unique these days. I don't really go to the movies anymore. I don't know who does, unless you've been given a half-price ticket or you're trying to impress a lady.
You get a half-price ticket and you go to Mission Impossible?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. Thanks. Thank you, Event Cinemas. Obviously, the influence of Pointless Confused is going far and wide these days, and I get invited to so many, film premieres. It's really ridiculous. But I'd like to thank Tom Cruise for personally inviting me and sitting with me while I was making this film. It was very exciting to be next to him in his presence, watching this film. And he had his hand on my knee, which I felt very comforting throughout the course of the movie. And then he crept a bit higher up my thigh, which I also was quite intrigued by. But we're not talking about that film at the moment, are we? We're talking about Indiana Jones.
Feelings you weren't sure you wanted to feel.
I'm really...
But it's Tom Cruise, so you just let it happen.
Yeah, I've got to text him in a minute. So I'll do that after the episode. But yeah, I'm obviously still working through a lot of feelings at the moment.
He's above male and female, Dan, so don't worry about it. He's just the androgynous king.
You're allowed, aren't you? Like, it's not... Yeah, like, no
one's going to judge you for, letting Tom Cruise abuse you.
Yeah, I just don't know if I can give up Judaism, but I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
I mean, what's it done for me, really, lately? I mean, not much.
Yeah. From all the money.
When you think about it, this whole Xeno thing makes a lot of sense, really, when you get into it.
Yeah, I'd say
a lot to think about.
Say about 80% of our listeners or people that clicked in to hear about our thoughts on Indiana Jones have already bailed because you're currently talking about being molested by Tom Cruise while being Jewish.
He was not. It wasn't a molesting, really. Like,
so yeah, you didn't.
It's complicated.
Decline him in any way. Yeah.
No, I definitely didn't pull away anyway. I pulled down. Oh, I mean, perhaps when I pulled down the fly of my pants and his hand crept higher after I pulled my fly down. I mean, it's understandable where he was coming from, like how he interpreted that.
Yeah, I know you, and I'm throwing up a little bit in the back of my mouth right now. So can we stop talking about you getting molested by Tom Cruise and pulling your cock out in the theater? Because, I mean, you didn't do that while we were watching Indiana Jones, but you were vaping, and that's just such a cunt move. Like, if anybody's listening, you vape in a cinema, like,
why?
For fuck's sake.
It's
why are you more important than, like, the rules?
What rule?
Don't vape in a fucking cinema?
Where's that? Never seen a no vaping sign in it. I don't see that anywhere.
Smoking. Jesus Christ.
It's
You're
vapor.
An animal.
It's air.
Yeah, it's not fucking air. Why are they trying to ban it then? Anyway, you get me on a rant. It's a realist. Yeah, they are. Vaping's going down the tube with smokes in New Zealand. That's gone. Chemicals, baby.
Yeah, I
ain't
think
just fucking water.
I think babies should be starting on vape at maybe 2 months old. I think they're old enough, really, to get into it. But anyway, we're not talking about me. Dial of Destiny. Yes. We paid money and we saw this film.
We did. There's lots of money too. Yeah.
Fucking Disney.
I'd been waiting for this film. Like, it's been on and off and put off and on and yada yada since Disney bought Lucasfilm. We had Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Was that 2008? Something like that. And generally regarded as a disappointment. I think a little bit of fun, but not what any of us were expecting. The first three, Temple of Doom, take it or leave it. Raiders and Last Crusade. For me, I'm a big indie guy, right? I love those two films. Last Crusade is my favorite. Hard to beat Sean Connery. So when Crystal Skull came out, I was excited. I went. I kind of I didn't leave disgusted like I did after Last Jedi. I just kind of went, oh, okay. They made that. Lots of CGI I remember being disappointed by. And then they sort of teased, they're doing one more. Disney's bought it, they're going to do another one. And it went into production or whatever, or the script, and then it got dropped, or I don't know, delays. And then finally, I had it on my phone, and I was just, come on, here it is. Just really excited, waiting. It's going to come out on June 29th. The countdown was on. And we went opening night, didn't we?
Early preview night.
Got our popcorn, preview night. I was excited. I wore my little indie hat. I didn't go full costume. Could have.
Yep. I brought my vape.
Didn't.
Yep.
Yeah, you brought your fucking Indiana Jones vape. Yeah, just to make it more smoky in there for me. Just more, yeah. And we sat central when we watched it. And
the film started.
It began. And
it continued for about 2.5 hours, and then it ended.
And then we walked out. Yeah, and I've seen it twice now at the cinema. All right.
Have you?
Again, I have. Yeah, I went again. Again, big indie guy. My initial, when I went with you, my initial was I didn't know how to feel. I was I didn't feel great about it, and I didn't feel disappointed in it. I just felt like, okay, that's done. It was like getting blood taken or getting, I don't know, a check at the doctor or something you don't really want to go and get checked, something you're embarrassed about, and you just get it done. That's kind of what Dial of Destiny felt like the first time through. And you're very judgy the first time because your expectations are pretty high. Yeah. I don't know where to go from there. It was just
what was your second time like? I'm intrigued.
I enjoyed it much more the second time. I wasn't so wound up on it, look, let's just jump straight. I mean, fucking most people have seen it now, unless you're watching Mel Gibson.
Apparently, not many people have gone and seen it. Apparently, the child trafficking movie's a lot better. A lot more interesting.
Sick, I'm happy for the world to be talking about it, but I don't want to sit in the cinema. I watched a 5-minute scene out of that film, and I went, "Fuck that! I'm not watching that." I get it. Let's stop it, but I don't need to watch a film about it. Let's get everybody talking about it, but I don't want to watch a film about it.
Yeah, I'd quite like to see it. Yeah.
Of course you would. You fucking weirdo. What was I talking about? Oh, the first 20 minutes is his, the flashback scene on the train, young Indy or whatever, on an adventure with the Nazis.
Yeah, what did you think of it the second time? That's what you're supposed to be talking about.
I am.
You liked it better.
Yeah, the first time watching that scene, I was just picking apart the CGI. I was like, oh, fuck, that bit looks good. Oh, that shot looks horrible. That's a bit Polar Express. That's a poor shot. Oh, that one's fucking amazing. So I was more like looking at the technical stuff. Second time around, I knew what that was. So I kind of switched off my brain to the bits that didn't look quite right and just went, I'll just enjoy what's going on, just try and watch it and not look at Harrison Ford's eyes and say they don't look right. And it was way better. It was so much more enjoyable, that opening scene. I really enjoyed it. It was quality. But with the second viewing, I was able to sum up what I couldn't put my finger on the first time. There's two things, right? Why I walked out feeling meh. And we can discuss this at length.
I don't care how you feel. Fuck. True.
it didn't feel fun. The overall film, it didn't feel like fun. It's indie to me is quite a fun adventure. The originals, even Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was fun, right? This one wasn't. This is like, just sort of downbeat one level. The first 20 minutes was fun, like that adventure with the Nazis. But then Old Man Indy didn't feel so fun. And I think that's summed up by my second point, is that Indy growing up, that's who you fucking want to be. I wanted to be Indy in Raiders. I wanted to be Indy in The Last Crusade. Like, it's like, fuck, that's a hero. That's somebody I want to look up to and want to be like. And that's, peak man. And the Indy we get in this film is just, when I'm 80 or whatever, 75 or whatever Harrison Ford was when they filmed this, I still want to feel like perhaps I'm slightly cool, or it's, give me an 80-year-old that I can say, yeah, I'm going to be like that when I'm 80. They didn't in this film. They just, fucking Indy's gone from living in a nice house and being a professor to fucking living in a shitty New York apartment, having people tell him he's fucking useless the whole time, other people solving shit for him, and then it's kind of it, and that bugged me the second time around. I was able to take away and go, they've stopped giving me idol's not the right word. What's the word I'm looking for? Like a role model or something. Lacking. All right, now you can talk for fucking 20 minutes.
Well,
how do you feel?
The next day I described it to people as watching paint dry. Yeah. I haven't watched it a second time. I did watch Kingdom of the Crystal Skull the following night.
All right.
And found it a lot better, a lot more redeeming, a lot more fun.
Yeah, that's the word.
To me, the action scenes were wrong. They weren't in line with how Indiana Jones works. Normally in a great Indiana Jones action scene, there's two things going on. There's a MacGuffin everyone's fighting over, an object, and there's also the battle to get, the battle between the good and the evil. So I liken it, in Temple of Doom, the opening scene is there's an antidote that he needs to get because he's been poisoned, but there's also a diamond, and they're scattered amongst the floor and the ice, and you can't see one for the other. And he can't leave to get away from the bad guys because he needs the antidote. And Willie, she wants the diamond, and you're stuck in the battleground because he can't leave because he needs the antidote. That adds tension to the scene.
Yeah.
There's more than one thing going on here. And I found in Dial of Destiny, it's just the bad guys are here and they're shooting at me and I've got to run away now. It doesn't have that extra tension layer added on top of it.
Yeah, no tension, no stakes, no nothing. Yeah.
A great example would be when they go underwater and they're in that hidden wreckage and the eels turn up. And what's the solution? Well, we get pulled out.
Let's just swim away.
Yeah. Whereas, Temple of Doom, a film that got bagged, but, you have the scene where Indy's trapped in a room with Short Round. There's a ceiling is coming down with spikes on top of him. Willie's in the next room, and she's got to reach through a hole that's full of bugs, and we know that she hates bugs. She doesn't want to put her hand in the wall with bugs, and it's got that added layer of tension. There's another thing happening on top of it. And this film didn't have that stuff. So none of the action scenes felt right to me.
Yeah.
And then what you were saying before was, I hadn't thought about, but it's quite correct, is that Indiana Jones is this guy on a mission. He's going to get things done. And, he's always out of his depth, but he always scoots through somehow. And this film's an old man, and it's all getting a bit tough, and I don't know, and there's a lady, and she's going to do stuff for me, and it's not the same thing. It doesn't have that added layer of tension. There wasn't chemistry between them. There wasn't like that comedic thing. Like Willie was something people complained about, but that was a great character with a great layer of tension on top, and it all kind of worked. All missing in this film.
I mean, I look at the Dial of Destiny, and it's quite long. It's 2.5 hours, but there's so much that there's sections that could have been shortened, where others could have been lengthened. For me, the best part of any, whether it's Indiana Jones or Tomb Raider or films like this, they have not an action set piece, but like a puzzle set piece. Last Crusade, the great thing was where he's going in to get the Grail, right? And he's got to solve the puzzles to get in there. Or in the temple, right in Raiders at the first, when he goes in to get the golden idol, he's got to, solve it and get out or whatever. This had the setup for that when they went into Archimedes' grave.
Mm.
But it felt like they'd chopped out a chunk of it. Like that should have been the whole second act almost, like getting in there and finding it and finding the paperwork or whatever to discover it, and then find it, solve some traps and get in there and blah, blah, blah. But it was just like that one water trap. They sort of walked through the bugs, and they smelt some gas, and then they had to displace some water, and down they went, and that's it. There's the grave. But I watched the trailer, and there's more scenes from that weren't in the film. It shows them solving some things with a staff, and there's a big boulder that they roll down. That was all taken out, and I'm assuming for time. But to me, the tuk-tuk race, I would have chopped that in half. That was fucking 20 minutes too long. I would have taken out the fiance that turned up to chase them through the streets. That was pointless because they never spoke about him again.
Mm-hmm.
Even that whole boat section, they could have gotten rid of that. They didn't need to have the Nazis turn up and steal it off them, but then they get away without any trouble.
Yeah, I think people talk about the convenience of the Nazis just sort of turn up.
Ja, hello, have ya?
Yeah. And it's like there was that lady that turned up, the black lady with the big afro who turns up with the glasses on, and everyone in the theater kind of laughed.
Yep.
And then it's a character that, why were they there?
Yeah.
Ultimately, no reason. You could get rid of that altogether, all that side plot.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Chop it all out, simplify it, give us a bit of action, give us I would have loved, and it's not like I didn't like the movie. Like I said, second time around I enjoyed it, but it's easy to see the flaws, and that's the tough thing, it wouldn't have taken much to make it, it felt like an Indiana Jones film, probably a little bit more so than Crystal Skull, just without the fun. But something simple as, when they introduced Old Man Indy, he's in his underpants and the hippies downstairs are playing the music too loud. And he gets up in his undies, and I appreciated that. And he grabs his bat and he goes down, and he whacks his bat on the door, and they essentially tell him to fuck off. Give me a beat where Indy, just as an old man, tells the young kids to fuck off, or something, and wins, and then goes about his day and gets sad about Marion or whatever. That would have been fine. But it was just all you go away, old man, it's fucking Moon Day. He needed more wins or quips, or I don't know.
Well, it's like you have that subplot that goes nowhere, and then at the end, Marion turns up and just goes, "Well, I hear you're amazing now. I'm back."
Yeah.
That had no build up to it, that's just
it's just she's back
cameo, and we're supposed to all go, "Wow, it's Marion."
Yeah,
but
look, I did. That gave me the feels, when she popped back up on screen. I was like, "Oh, hey, there she is," and I sort of forgot about all the crap and reasons why she shouldn't be there. I was just happy to see them together on screen again. And there was a nice little callback to Raiders. But when you think about, why it all happened, it was fucking, more unbelievable than traveling back in time, really.
Well, I was reading George Lucas was talking about. Apparently, in the 70s, they made a deal with Paramount to make 5 Indiana Jones.
Mm.
And they just kind of kept dicking around and extending it out. But apparently, the idea was George Lucas would, whenever they made a film, would go away and research archaeological history to find the next thing that he would go after. And George said, you can't just go up after some made up shit. It has to be based in history. You can't go after something silly like a time machine.
Yeah.
And then George is, left the picture at that stage, and then James Mangold's come in and going, let's make it about a time machine.
Yeah. I mean, that's it. You don't have the original guys in it. And I guess, there's reasons why Spielberg said on, he was signed on to do it for years. And then, so all of a sudden it was like, okay, production starting, and he bailed. He just said, nah, pass it on to somebody else. And Disney was like, all right, we're still,
And Spielberg was on for a while, and then Spielberg went, nah, see you later. And we got Mangold, and Mangold's a great film director. Like Logan, that was such a good film. I mean, he's done some really good films.
Didn't enjoy Logan.
That's you.
To be fair, I haven't finished it yet. Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Went, this is boring. Turned it off.
Oh, God's sake!
But I guess it's also hard to step into. You got Spielberg's made 4 films with this character, so he knows to a point, how to make them, right? And so to step into his shoes, and
camera work by Spielberg's very distinctive. And when I was watching Kingdom of Crystal Skull, you see all that, the blocking and the camera work and how choreographed it is. And it looks great, and gives it that feeling, but it didn't have that in this film, where it's pretty much just cut left, cut right.
Yeah. Nothing lingering. I watched a YouTube video on, somebody's taken all the music out of Raiders, made it black and white. Then they put in 9 Inch Nails as the soundtrack and no dialogue. Right. Mm-hmm. And you can watch scenes and they still make sense. You still get the gist of what's going on. And the blocking and the camera work and the lack of cuts are what make a lot of the scenes. There's the scene where you first go into Indy's house, and him and I think his name's Brody, his mate, they're sort of walking in together, and then they go to they have a bit of a conversation here on the left of the room. It doesn't cut away. Then the camera pans to the middle of the room, and that sets up more information. Then it pans to the right, and then, it's all just a single shot. But each time the camera is settled and something happens, and then it moves to the right and it settles again, and then it moves right and settles, and then comes back to the middle, and, and they're all individual shots, but within one movement of the camera. And it just draws you in. There's nothing arty like that in Dial of Destiny.
No, I can't think of any great shots in it.
Yeah.
I was also distracted by how many bearded men turned up in succession.
And did nothing? You're talking like Sala? Hey!
Sala turns up. Hey, I'm back. Can I come with you?
Yeah.
No. Okay, I'll see you later.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it.
I'm Antonio Banderas. I have a beard. That's the end of me. See you later.
Yeah. That was annoying too. Again, the audience that's coming to see this are people that have grown up with those characters. So I don't want to see those characters given the fucking Star Wars treatment. I want those characters to come in and play a part, not just walk in and walk out and go and get fucking ice cream, literally, in the case of Sala. You're going somewhere where Sala, he walks in and he says they've taken that artifact to wherever it is, Tunisia or whatever the fuck. I know it real well. Oh, that's great, Sala. Fuck off.
The elephant in the room here is they're all fucking old.
It's true. But you don't, you can shoot it. They don't have to be jumping around from tuk-tuk to tuk-tuk for it to be a good film. It could have been a slow-paced old men walking around fucking libraries film, and it might have made more sense, Doesn't have
It's
to be.
Indiana Jones. They're supposed to be
Yeah.
jumping around and getting dragged behind trucks
Yeah,
by
but that's the thing. You
bullwhips.
could have
And
said, right, Harrison's 80, Indy's 80. He's not going to, if he jumped from the tuk-tuk to another one, he's going to break his hip. You know, like, really.
yeah,
It takes you out of the film. Like, there's one scene where I think they came out of, oh, fuck it. He just comes out of a building with the chick, Helena Shaw, and then they run up the street, right? And it's just a shot from behind them and they're running up the street. And instantly you go, oh, fuck, Harrison shouldn't be running. You know, like it's just a full shot. There's Harrison trying to run and he doesn't look comfortable. That's the reality. That's what it needed to be, you know?
the
I can
thing
do
is,
dive rolls and
if he can't run and jump and do all that stuff, when you have a scene when the Nazis capture them on the boat and then Helena's got out the little tablet and she's giving the history lesson and Indiana Jones sitting there looking like a sad git in this corner.
Yeah.
I mean, what's he there for? What's he doing?
That's it. I mean, you're hitting the nail on the head there. Like what would have been good is he's an old professor. Let him be an old professor. Let him
know shit. You know?
Yeah. Let him know shit. Let him solve shit with his brain. Like there was one scene that, I mean, could have been done better, but I appreciated when their tuk-tuk breaks down. The others are telling him, you can't fix that. That's not going to work. And he goes, fuck you, and fixes it, right? And they drive off. And I was like, needed more of that, of him
being smart.
Staging the young ones, you know, him winning, because it's his fucking movie. It's his Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, you know?
And it's also like every Indiana Jones, there's a big bloke and he has a fist fight with him, right?
Mm.
In this film, there's a giant bloke. He's fucking enormous.
Yep.
They don't fight.
No, they don't. Well, they built up to it three times, didn't they?
Yeah.
They like led up to it. They sort of foreshadowed a fight that was coming, and then it never happened. And the kid just handcuffed them underwater, and he drowned. The kid that couldn't swim, that all of a sudden swam really well. Mm.
Oh, was that it? Didn't he just get shot on the plane?
Nah, the giant guy you're talking about. Yeah, no, he was handcuffed to the kid as they went to Archimedes, and they went over that little bridge, and it broke. And they fell in the water, handcuffed together, and the kid got the key and chained him under the water, and he died.
Like, why is that kid's kind of like the diet short round?
Short round. Didn't need him.
He didn't need him at all. It was like her little sidekick.
It's because the plan was to have a TV spin-off of Helena and her sidekick, and it's not going to happen now.
Yeah, well, good.
Yeah,
I'm all for diversity, but fuck that minority.
Yeah, not when it needs to be shoehorned in, and again, second time around, I wasn't so annoyed with Helena's character. I found her really unlikable on the first watch. Again, it might have just been because I was like, why the fuck isn't Indy doing all this stuff? So the second time around, it wasn't so bad that she was, doing stuff and getting it done. It was, it's all good. We've had strong female characters with Marion and not so much Willie. She was useless. And the German lady from Last Crusade. But
both were hot, especially the German one. She was super hot.
Yeah.
You can't really say that about Helena. Helena wasn't as obnoxious and annoying as I thought she was going to be.
Yeah.
And people were making out, but she was a bit fucking pointless and stupid and not that great an actress, to be honest.
That's it. I think what was lacking was the chemistry. I think those two just didn't like each other. I think if, in a year or two or in 6 months when we get interviews, they're going to just be like, yeah, I fucking hated Harrison Ford.
You know what? Where's the love interest? That's the whole thing. Where's, you get a love interest every film. And then you get the
Marion.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. Why isn't Marion in the movie and not?
They could have done. How about this? Why don't you just have get rid of Helena Shaw and her sidekick, whose name I don't even remember now. Tuk Tuk. Who fucking cares?
Oh, that's racist.
Yeah. Have have Indy, going through separation, and I liked that they'd killed off Mutt. I thought that scene was done well, and Harrison acted it well. But then it was just kind of shrugged off by Helena. But anyway, so have them be estranged, have this Dial of Destiny turn up, or Sala turn up, or something that kicks off. I need to go and get that piece. Maybe it's his old friend that died that they just killed off. And then in order to get that piece, he needs something from Marion, who he hasn't seen in a while, and, divorce papers.
How much stuff does that woman have?
Yeah.
She got the Well of Souls stuff. And, I don't know.
And they work together and make it like Indy and Marion. Again, I know we've already done it in Crystal Skull, but they're doing the old people research solving puzzles adventure. I think that would have been just fine. Travel the world, finding the bits. Yes, the Nazis are involved, but just a bit more. Yeah, just a bit more raidering of arcs. Like.
Well, it's just a fucking mess. That's what we're trying to get at.
A sure money grab. Yeah. I mean, is there anything about it that did you like anything about it in your viewing, apart from quality time with me in person?
Well, basically a disappointment, to be honest. I mean, I can't get over how he fought the Nazis, he fought the Russians, and then his son wants to go to war, and he's like, "Don't go to war."
Yep. Again, odd character choices in the film. Yeah, it's Indy was not Indy. That's the problem.
Yeah. Yeah. Indy's
Disney
not
wants
Indy.
us to think that when you're an old man, your life sucks. Old man Luke, fucking useless. Old man Harrison, not Harrison, Han Solo, fucking useless. Oh, let's get old man Indy and fucking make him useless too. That annoys me.
Yeah, I've studied Archimedes my entire life, and I want to stay here all of a sudden.
Yeah. Never talked about Archimedes before.
Never before, but yeah, I'm obsessed. Yeah.
No. I don't know. Some people are saying that they love that Indy got to see, history for real. But then they ruined it by him getting punched out in a single punch. And
in history.
Somehow they knocked him out, and then they got him in a plane, which was quite small. So there's 4 of them in that small plane. They somehow take off overloaded with weight, fly back through the time portal to Tunisia or wherever the fuck they were, land, get him out of the plane, put him in a car, get him on maybe another plane or a boat back to America, get him hospital treatment, and then get him back to his house, and then have him wake up and have Marion just be there. It's a long time for a single punch.
Yeah, I also couldn't work out the age of Helena. That always scared me. I haven't worked out the years exactly, but
40 something. Early 40s.
Yeah, in the opening scene, I have a daughter, and then they meet her a couple of years later, and she's 9 years old, and then when he's fucking 70, all of a sudden she's 30. Like, I don't know. Anyway, if you were gonna double feature this with another film, you're gonna recommend this film with another film, what would it be? Good Lord.
That's tough. Double featuring this one, like you'd think you'd put it with another indie film, but it doesn't fit with the others. So it's a tough one. You go first. I got to ponder it for a minute.
Uncharted. It's like Mark Wahlberg and Tom Holland.
Piece of shit. Fucking yeah. My lord.
Yeah. Watch those two.
Past episode, everybody.
Fucking pricks.
Yeah, long and boring. Oh, maybe that. I'll put it just for Double Harrison. What was the new Blade Runner film? Blade Runner 2049 or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Another long meandering film which actually you might enjoy more than this one. But that's what double features are about.
Yeah,
good one.
Better made. Um,
Mm.
so IMDb, this comes out at a stunning 6.9.
Oh, wow.
So the cold-hearted bastards over there, someone gave it a 9. Feels like an Indiana Jones movie. Yeah. 7. A worthwhile sequel and final. And why you don't have to believe the haters. Oh, they liked it.
Mm. I bet.
6 was actually depressing instead of fun. And someone said 3, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Disappointment.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going around the internet at the moment. Yeah, look, big indie fan. I've got toys. I've got the costume. This is one of my franchises, right? Love it. This one, I took my kids second time around. They loved it. Which surprised me a lot.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I'll give it I think I agree with IMDb. Sometimes I didn't. Yeah. I'll give it a 7. I'll give it a 7 fedoras out of 10. But I doubt I'll watch it again.
I have to give it a 3. It's the worst one. I just see people arguing it's better than Crystal Skull, but no,
it's not.
Don't know.
It's not. Give me Crystal Skull any day. At least Harrison's animated in Crystal Skull, as in it's like he's.
The good thing about movies now is they're so shit. They're making films that were shit from 20 years ago look a lot fucking better, 10 years ago, yeah.
Yep.
Thanks, Disney, you bunch of cunts.
Oh, fuck, man. Surely somebody's getting fired over all this. They haven't made anything good in forever. Pay you $4 billion. Was it $4 billion or $40 billion for Lucasfilm? And they've done nothing with it. Put out shit films. I'll give them the Force Awakens.
How long's she hanging around for? Like, you can't keep her on now, can you?
Yeah, I don't.
There's rumors she's fired already.
Is it her though? Like, does she really have much to say in these things, or is it more Mangold that just fucked it up, or was it studio interference? Did he have another? Is there a Mangold cut of the Dial of Destiny, or because they did heaps of reshoots of the ending, and
this is what they put out, and fuck them, cancel Disney Plus for fuck's sake, yeah. Yeah, I mean, if we haven't worked out they're raping us by now, I don't know what to tell you.
Like, it doesn't matter but they've killed these brands now. But you take a Star Wars film, you put it out, Star Wars fans are going to go and see it, regardless. Indiana Jones fans, regardless, are going to go and see this film. So there's money in the bank. But this is Dial of Destiny is apparently the most expensive film ever made. Did you hear that shit? There's no way they're making their budget back.
Yeah, I mean, God, just fuck off, Disney, for fuck's sake. Yeah. They can't even remake their own movies properly. I mean, Jesus, now they're fucking with other people's shit. I don't know. It's just turned George Lucas into a hero, isn't it? Like, we were fucking rubbishing him for so long, and now it's just like, oh, George, we're sorry. We're so sorry.
We had it.
We didn't know. We didn't know, George.
Sorry, George. We appreciate you, oh Lord George. The great AI will worship you when it sees your work.
Okay, well, we got less than a minute on the whatchamacallit machine, so another perfect episode. I feel depressed. I feel like an old man.
Yeah.
His wife's left him, his son's died in war, and my students don't appreciate me.
It's just Indy's waiting to die. So it's just after 70, it's just waiting. That's what he needed.
Waiting to die. Yeah,
my dick don't work.
Shit. My dick don't work. Got hemorrhoids.
Still fucking chicks. Yeah.
Big cock energy. Big cock. Apparently Harrison took $12 million for this one.